In the meantime, let's go back to New York City. Want to get some updates on the case that is unfolding there regarding Sean Diddy Combs.
Kooky, and it seems like they're just leaning into it. Like there's no course correction at all. Just leaning into the kooky.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Oh, yeah.
Those clothes. Oh my goodness, hold on to your seats because the tea I'm about to spill about Diddy is scalding hot. And trust me, honey, this isn't about his lavish parties or his business empire. We're talking straight up courtroom drama. The music mogul's legal team is pulling moves that would make Perry Mason jealous. And child, they're coming for the prosecution with everything they've got. But here's the real question that's got everyone's tongues wagging. Could this be Diddy's ticket to freedom? Baby, the stakes are higher than my mama's Sunday church.
Exactly. You're just like, it's there. I mean, it's not just there. It's everywhere. My news feed is dominated by it. Fox News, CNN, everyone. There's raids at Diddy's house.
Listen, let me break this down for you because the situation is messier than a toddler eating spaghetti. For months now, Diddy's been stuck in the eye of a media hurricane that's making Katrina look like a summer breeze. We're talking about charges that could not only snatch his empire faster than a wig in a windstorm, but could have him trading his designer suits for prison orange for decades. Chile, when they arrested him back in September, the shockwaves hit harder than your aunt's potato salad at the family reunion. But honey, that was just the appetizer. The main course of revelations that followed? Disturbing doesn't even begin to cover it. Now let me spill this piping hot tea about what's happening in that courtroom. The prosecutors found something during a raid of Diddy's cell at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn that's got everybody clutching their pearls. Handwritten notes, baby. And not just any notes. We're talking about what the prosecution is calling their smoking gun. Assistant Sister Christy Slavic, and yes, that's the prosecutor's name, honey, is out here telling the court that these notes are basically Diddy's personal playbook for witness tampering. We're talking plans to pay people off and digging up dirt on accusers, all written down like some kind of criminal to-do list. The audacity.
So I would imagine if you're the CIA, you're like, okay, we're looking for people who have gone through these things in their life that have curated this kind of like personality type.
Well, isn't it just like part of the gig? Like here's a for instance, like your bit about Puffy.
But hold up, because Diddy's legal team isn't taking this lying down. Enter Mark Agnifilo, and baby, if there was ever a lawyer who could make Johnny Cochran proud, it's this one. This man is arguing that these notes are more private than your DMs on a Saturday night. He's saying the prosecutors basically committed a legal no-no by snatching up these notes that were supposed to be protected by attorney-client.
At the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, the judge ordering the prosecution to turn over its findings from a jail cell raid, Diddy's jail cell, just yesterday. What were the contents of those raids?
Well, apparently, according to the defense, they're legal documents. The government saying no, on the contrary, they're just some handwritten notes and a calendar.
Privilege. And honey, this isn't just lawyer talk. They're pulling out the Constitution faster than your grandma pulls out her reading glasses at church. We're talking 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments. Agnifilo is basically saying this raid was about as legal as wearing white after Labor Day.
I think it's over.
You think it's over?
I think it's over for him as like a figure in entertainment.
Right. But do you think it's over as him as far as
jail?
Like he gets a cell right next to R. Kelly?
I don't think so.
The strategy? Clear as my aunt's crystal punch bowl at Christmas dinner. They're trying to make the prosecution look shadier than a palm tree on Miami Beach. If they can prove these notes were snatched up illegally, Chile, that evidence could disappear faster than cookies at a Weight Watchers meet.
That's it. If it is privileged, of course they won't. But if it really is what the prosecution says, that has nothing to do with the case, or even worse, it's actually evidence of witness tampering, because we all know the attorney-client privilege, there's a crime fraud exception. You can't use your lawyer to perpetuate a future or continuing fraud or crime. So if the documents are what the government says they are, they're going to get them again. And again, it's just going to be a matter of days, because I don't expect...
But don't think the prosecution is backing down. They're standing firmer than last week's hairspray, insisting everything was done by the book. According to Slavic, who's serving more tea than a British afternoon social, these notes were found during a regular contraband sweep. She's also saying these weren't just any old notes. We're talking about straight-up instructions for paying off witnesses and digging up dirt on victims.
So there's a few things going on. First is the privilege issue. The judge will decide whether the documents are privileged or not. If they're not, they're going to go to the government. If the documents are not only not privileged, but they're evidence of witness tampering, then a few things can happen, all of which are bad for Sean Diddy Combs. First, of course, he'd face obstruction of justice charges in a superseding indictment.
Now, the judge in this case, Honey, Judge Aaron Subramanian, and yes, I practiced saying that name 3 times in the mirror, is playing it cooler than a cucumber in a freezer. He's ordered the prosecutors to delete their copies of these notes for now, but he's keeping the originals under lock and key, like they're the secret recipe to Coca-Cola. The tea gets even hotter because earlier this month, prosecutors caught Diddy allegedly trying to run a whole PR campaign from behind bars. They're saying he had his children posting birthday wishes on social media like it was a normal day at the Combs household. The prosecutors are calling it a move slicker than oil on a frying pan, trying to sway potential jurors with family man.
He doesn't kind of buy what the prosecution's selling. He thinks they've looked at the notes.
Yeah.
He thinks that they're cheating.
I mean, I would think that too.
But apparently what happened is commonplace.
Vibes. But child, Diddy's defense team is working harder than a one-armed wallpaper hanger. They've got the spotlight pointed at the prosecution like it's amateur night at the Apollo, trying to make everyone forget about what Diddy allegedly did and focus on how the government's been handling this.
The 90s.
The music business. It's a lot of people.
It's not just the music business. It's like, it's the extortion business.
Well, yeah. I mean, the rap game was crazy. That's a thing a lot of people don't realize is like, back in the day, especially like early rap game, you weren't just going to play at, what's the random theater that you would play in LA? What's like a
case? It's a gamble bigger than betting your whole paycheck at Vegas, but if it works, honey, it could have Diddy walking freer than a bird in spring. This whole situation has started more debates than a political dinner party, with some folks saying the government's going too hard, while others are screaming that justice needs to be served with a side of accountability.
There's people on both sides, right? There's the people on the right that are trying to nail the people that are on the left with this. There's people that are journalists that are trying to nail the people that were involved in this.
This is it, yeah.
And they've managed to keep that list from coming out, which shows you how powerful certain people are. That should show you a lot. That should be terrifying.
Let me tell you something. Both sides are fighting like cats in a bag. Diddy's throwing money at this case like he's at a strip club, hiring lawyers who probably charge more per hour than most people make in a month. And the prosecutors, they're more determined than a toddler reaching for cookies on a high shelf.
That's what people were saying, and maybe everybody's a conspiracy theorist now, but that's what people are saying about the Diddy situation. Like when the feds rolled up, with the Hummers and shit. They're like, it wasn't about Diddy. It was about if there were tapes of powerful people there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
They were the ones that called. They're like, I need to protect myself, so go in there with all the things and rip any tapes or any evidence.
The tension in that courtroom, baby, you could cut it with a plastic knife. Every time someone opens their mouth, it's like the whole world holds its breath. And while all this legal drama is juicier than a Georgia peach, we can't forget what's really at stake here.
Rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal where he was filming everybody, right?
That's the rumors, yeah. I don't know that there's any proof or anything other than that.
Now let me tell you about the darker side of this story because it's about to get real quick. What they're saying about Diddy's parties. Chilly, it's enough to make your Sunday hat fall off. These weren't just any parties. They were apparently more exclusive than Heaven's VIP section.
Someone said that they weren't there to take stuff, they were there to delete everything. Like the real people that were in there,
Oh,
like
that's
the same
funny.
thing with Epstein.
Oh, that's funny.
These break-offs they're talking about, honey, they make the Met Gala look like a kindergarten pizza party. We're talking about after parties so secret even the CIA probably couldn't get in. The guest list read like a who's who of Hollywood, Leo, J-Lo, Jay-Z. But what allegedly went down behind those closed doors? Lord have mercy.
Of course, there's layers upon layers. When you get into these conspiracy theories, man, they never end. They never end. There's just layers upon layers.
Mercy. The way these events were planned, more detailed than a bride's wedding spreadsheet. We're talking about hotel suites set up like movie sets with everything arranged just so. But the stories coming out now, chilly, they're making some people wish they'd never RSVP'd.
Everybody who tells the stories like, I saw her go upstairs and these dudes are like right on the couch.
Yeah.
And then I go in this room and these guys are
Yeah.
like,
And pros. Like apparently he was getting male gigolos to girls.
girls.
Yeah, that was one of the rumors, like the
Male
freak off. So he would
gigolos.
hire the professional to have with the girls, and I think he would watch allegedly.
Yes. Now, honey, let's talk about how Hollywood is running away from this scandal faster than Cinderella at midnight. Some celebrities are spilling tea like a broken kettle, while others are zipping their lips tighter than last year's jeans. Take Ashton Kutcher, bless his heart, trying to dance around the subject like he's on Dancing with the Stars. And Ice Cube? Chilly. He made it crystal clear he wasn't about that after-hours life, basically saying, not my circus, not my monkeys. And then there's 50 Cent throwing shade darker than a solar eclipse, talking about the uncomfortable energy at these gatherings. Baby, when 50 Cent says something's uncomfortable, you know it's
Caligula.
Okay, so then there's the question. It's like, can you take a completely normal person, give them power, and then they become that? Or does it take a power-hungry person that has this void that they need to be filled, that needs to be filled, and then when they are given that power, you see the worst version of them?
Ask your CIA boy. I bet he's got the answers. I bet he knows the exact formula.
To corrupting somebody
Yeah.
or to...
What happens? Like what happens is
bad. But let me tell you about the ones playing quieter than mice in church. Their silence is speaking volumes. And then we've got Miss Tina Wallace coming forward with a story that'll make your hair stand straighter than a ruler. This woman claims she was flown in by some Saudi businessman to one of these parties, and what she saw? Lord have mercy. It's the kind of stuff that'll make you want to clutch your pearls and call your mama. And don't even get me started on the Cassie situation. That civil suit she filed hit harder than your grandma's wooden spoon. When that hotel hallway video leaked, baby, it spread faster than gossip at a beauty salon. That footage had people's jaws dropping lower than gas prices in 2020.
Man, I ain't gonna lie.
Then comes Talia Graves with allegations that'll make your blood run colder than a polar bear's toenails. She's talking about being restrained and recorded without consent back in the early 2000s. And honey, Diddy's legal team is sweating more than a sinner in church trying to figure out how to handle that one.
Oh, man, I just had like a 3.5 hour cry.
Chilly, the plot thickens faster than cornbread batter when you start looking at all these celebrities who might be involved. We're talking about everyone from Usher to Kim K to Paris Hilton. And as Tony Busby, that's the attorney representing over 120 people, bless his heart, says, this isn't just about one man, it's about a whole system that let this mess keep on keeping on. Now, some of these stars are probably wishing they could social distance themselves from these parties more than we did during COVID. Because honey, when the dominoes start falling, ain't nobody gonna wanna be caught in that castle.
As far as, is he gonna turn people in? Is he gonna cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they gonna cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70, that's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
As we're getting closer to trial, the tension is thicker than Thanksgiving gravy. Diddy's legal team is working harder than elves at Christmas, trying to poke more holes in this case than there are in Swiss cheese. Meanwhile, the accusers and their attorneys are more determined than a toddler reaching for candy.
Responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that. He put that gun back in his...
Let me tell you something, sugar. Diddy might have more money than a bank and more influence than a pastor at a church fundraiser. But right now, that tide of public opinion is turning faster than your mama's mood when you talk back. His reputation? Chile, it's hanging by a thread thinner than dollar store toilet paper. Whether he's found guilty or not, this whole situation is messier than a pig in mud, and it's leaving a stain on his legacy that not even the strongest bleach can wash out. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about power, it's about privilege, and it's about all those people who finally found their voice. And while we're all waiting to see how this drama unfolds, one thing's for certain. This story is going to be talked about longer than your aunt's potato salad recipe at the family reunion. The impact, baby, it's going to be felt harder than your mama's wooden spoon when you misbehaved as a child. So what do y'all think? Is Diddy's legal team playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers? Or is this just a desperate last grab at freedom? And how much do you think this whole mess is going to affect his legacy in the music industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe for all the latest tea on this piping hot drama. Until next time, keep serving that tea and spilling those secrets.